Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to This Week in Comics. I am Mike S. Miller, your host, 27-year veteran of this comic book industry that is falling apart right around our ears. This. Marvel just announced the MCU from Screen Rant, screenrant.com. Marvel just announced the MCU's perfect Spider-Man replacement. How? With that, I can't. Marvel Studios has already announced the perfect Spider-Man replacement. Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel. I can't. Spider-Man has been described as Marvel's Mickey Mouse, their most recognizable and distinctive superhero brand. So, of course, Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, is the perfect Spider-Man replacement. That's why Marvel Studios went to such effort to reach an unprecedented deal that brought the wall crawler to the MCU, and it's why the recent collapse of the Marvel-Sony deal is such a blow to their shared cinematic universe. When Stan Lee and Steve Ditko created Spider-Man, they envisioned him as the ultimate everyman hero in a superhero universe filled with hyper-intelligent geniuses, strange visitors from other worlds, military-trained super soldiers, and scientists with breathtaking anger management issues. Spider-Man is essentially an ordinary person who's gained superpowers. They created Spider-Man. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko created Spider-Man because they wanted to have all the other superheroes were grown-ups. And you'd have grown-ups with like teenage sidekicks like Bucky, like Speedy, like who are some of the other teenage sidekicks in the world. But what you didn't have was a comic book based on a teenager. And so, seeing that the predominant buying force of the day was teenagers, and that how popular teenage sidekicks were, Stan Lee, who is a marketing genius, was like, you know what we need? We need a teenage superhero. That's why they created Spider-Man. He wasn't some everyman. He was a teenager. He was a, kind of goofy looking, not terribly, Stan was creating a character that his direct audience could identify with. Is that an everyman? It's an every kid. But not every kid. It was a nerd. The nerds were reading comics, I guess. And so he created someone that the nerds could identify with. And God bless him for it. But no, it's not just an ordinary person who gains superpowers. For Pete's sake, Bruce Wayne has no superpowers. Anyways, according to Lee himself, the idea for Spider-Man came through a surge in teen demand. Oh, I should have just read on. For comic books, when he was envisioned a character teens could identify with. Why didn't I just read this in advance? The MCU has followed the same approach. That's why Tom Holland's Spider-Man grew up in a world of Avengers and has been given such a close relationship with Tony Stark. Marvel understood that their modern teenage viewers had grown up on a diet of MCU movies, and they see 2008's Iron Man as the beginning of their own superhero journey. Their Spider-Man reflects this. That's fair enough. The loss of Spider-Man, however, means that the MCU no longer has an everyman hero who represents the teen audience. Fortunately, Marvel recently announced that they have a replacement, Kamala Khan, who is getting her own Miss Marvel Disney series on Disney Plus. Because every teenage boy in America can identify with a fundamentalist Islamist girl. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, I really don't know how to pronounce his name, has been teasing Kamala's MCU debut for over a year now, stressing that MCU's Miss Marvel would be comic book accurate. Those plans are finally coming to fruition with Kamala set for Disney+. Miss Marvel will then migrate to the movies, where she could actually fill the Spider-Man shaped hole in the MCU. What brand of crack are they smoking? Because in no real world scenario is Miss Marvel a character that is almost universally hated or despised or disliked at the very least. Look at she makes giant fists. This is her power. Well, I mean, she's stretchy and all that stuff, but she giant big I'm Spider-Man. No. It's easy to forget that Miss Marvel was designed after the pattern of Spider-Man. Her creators, Marvel editors Sana Amanat and Stephen Wacker, artist Adriana Alfano and Jamie McKelvey, and writer G. Willow Wilson envisioned her as another everyman hero, designed to represent the complexity of a modern, multi-culti society. Where Peter Parker was originally a Jewish kid. This is underlined. I think they're trying to take us to another article here. This is not true. This is a theory. This is speculation. Stan Lee has been here. He just passed away, and he had how many decades since Peter Parker was created in the 60s? He had 70 odd years to say Peter Parker is a Jewish kid. He's never said that. This was a weird fan theory by Avi Arad, the guy who, one of the producers for Marvel movies. So using this as your springboard for creating Kamala Khan as a young Muslim. And this is how you're going to shoehorn her into Peter Parker. This is such a square block trying to fit into a round hole. It is. I don't care if she can change her shape. She's not going to. No. They created Kamala Khan as a young Muslim, and the majority of her stories subtly explore themes of social justice in the context of fundamentalist faith. G. Willow Wilson followed the Spider-Man pattern when she wrote the popular Miss Marvel comic book. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko carefully built a strong sense of place around Peter Parker so that readers felt they got to know the New York itself by reading the wall crawler's adventures. In the same way, Wilson ensures that her Miss Marvel run gave Kamala a sense of what she called particularity. Truly making her feel as though she existed in a real place. The places I want to go with this that I don't want to go with this. Blah 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 blah. I can't even read the rest of this claptrap. It's only 2 more paragraphs. All right, we'll also show the same dedication to Kamala's supporting cast, working hard to flesh them out. So Kamala, blah, 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 blah. As popular as Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel may be, she is not popular. The only reason she sells is because they forced these books into Scholastic, which are like the only comics they can sell in schools. And, her books don't sell. They are trying to force this political agenda down your throat, and now they're going to jam it down the throat of the entire Marvel cinematic universe so that they can have a young Muslim fundamentalist superhero. Because, as we know, all the greatest people in the world are Muslim fundamentalists. Marvel may be. Miss Marvel. All this isn't to say that she's already become the equal of Spider-Man in terms of cultural impact, brand recognition, or even merchandise value. Of course she hasn't. And she never will be. She's a remarkable success. They put her in like every crossover book. And it's not because people just really want to see a young Muslim girl with giant fists. But this is just such obvious bullchicanery. It's so hard for me to even find the words of how stupid this is. It's gotta, if it wasn't destroying my entire industry and the entire cinematic universe and the foundation that has been built over the last 2 decades, it would be funny. It would be. But it's not. I can't wait for the episode where Kamala decides to date a non-Muslim and her father cuts her head off. Because, the realities of the fundamentalist world. You do want to deal with that. She's a remarkable success. I can't even say it out loud. To be sure, especially for a character who was only introduced in the comics back in 2013. But she's nowhere near that big. What? Oh, all right. What it does mean, though, is that she can fill the narrative and thematic gap left in the MCU by Spider-Man's departure. The loss of an everyman hero. Can I get a comment in the comment section for all of you everymen out there who feel like Kamala Khan represents you? Lord God, help me. Who occupies a very specific, particular part of the world and has a strong supporting cast. Marvel has made a wise decision focusing in on her at just the right time. Just the wrong time. Oh, Lord Almighty. Anyways. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. This is your replacement for this is your replacement for Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Good luck. Good luck. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys on the next episode.